If, as a matter of fact, everyone should be given an opportunity to try everything and then decide, okay, no, I'd rather do this, because I have done this, not because I have done this and I don't want to, not because society has said I shouldn't. So I think these conversations, taking them to the offices, taking them to our homes, taking them to the churches, basically is the first way forward.
Just going to talk about solutions right now. So we've talked about like differences in gender roles. Like if we're going to like fix a couple of problems around these gender roles, like how can we unlearn gender roles in like your typical African home? Like what do you think is the way forward if we're ever going to unlearn like those so-called gender roles within the African homes or like Caribbean homes, right?
Okay. So so much has changed, I must acknowledge, right? Yep. We're not where we were a few years ago. So much is changing, and I feel like the first thing everyone needs to do, we've been exposed to these things already, is for us to get conscious of that reality, like build that consciousness. Because sometimes we already box someone up already when we meet them for the first time based on their gender. So we need to train our minds to not do those things anymore. Personally, I actually made a conscious effort to start learning all of these things because it didn't make sense to me when I grew up as an adult. I've gone to the university, I've come back, but I still see that my dad, even as he grew older, would rather be the one to change the bulb than tell me to go and change the bulb as a girl child, because there's no boy child in the house. And at the end of the day, from the family, it also affects the society, also affects the community, and at the end of the day we realize that it's now a culture because we've made it right from the home.
Okay, so basically you're wanting like some freedom around like the thought process on genders, right? So you want like families seeing like boys or like girls when they grow up as people who can do whatever they want to do, and
absolutely
we should give them that freedom.
There should be that freedom to
kind
decide.
of do it, and like don't look down on any kind of genders to say, okay, as a lady you have to do only X, Y, Z, and then as a guy you have to do only A, B, C. Like there must be some kind of freedom of thought around like gender roles, correct?
Yeah, and another reason is because at the end of the day we're all going to leave our various homes and maybe go start your own home, maybe start your own life. You don't want to go home. You don't want to start your own home as a girl and not be able to change your bulb and not be able to change your tire, because you're living alone. You're not living with anyone at that point. You don't want to leave mommy and daddy as a boy and not be able to cook and then have to rely on your babe to always come around to cook for you, or rely on buying food outside. At the end of the day,
if the babe wants to come cook and she's happy to make the food,
she should come and cook, but you should be able to know that, babe or no babe, you can take care of. You're a whole human being. You're an independent person, right?
Okay, so I'm just going to ask you a very specific question, right? So when you look at the African societies and like African communities, like the Caribbean communities, how do we take away stereotypes around gender? So like you talked about you changing your tires and your parents thinking, oh my God, what are you doing? So like how do we take away those stereotypes around this particular roles is going to be for just the guys and this for the ladies? Like how do we move forward? Like what kind of recommendation do we have to say, okay, this is the way forward to take away like stereotypes around gender roles?
Okay, first things first, there should be no boxing up. Like everyone do whatever it is that you think you have the natural strength or natural calling or what you seem to be more interested in doing.
Okay.
Not because you're a girl, not because you're a boy. Everyone should be given the fair playing ground to decide
what they want to do by themselves.
Yeah, everyone should be. As a matter of fact, everyone should be given an opportunity to try everything and then decide, okay, no, I'd rather do this, because I have done this, not because I have done this and I don't want to, not because society has said I shouldn't, right? So everyone should be given a fair playing ground, even in school, even in the home, even, I feel like maybe at some point, if we are really serious about this conversation, colleges and universities should make a conscious effort to make sure that there is a fair representation of female students in a particular class. Because I remember growing up, courses like engineering faculty was full of boys, guys only. And I feel like it's not necessarily because, maybe more guys apply to engineering courses, but if we are really serious about this, it goes as deep as, the universities making a conscious effort to make sure that
there's equal representation.
Yes, there's equal representation. They're making a conscious effort to make sure that women are allowed into such courses, right? And at the end of the day, it balances things out. And it's a very long journey. It's not something that we can start now and achieve right now, right? So if we start making those conscious effort right now, it will take a few years for us to start seeing the effects, but we need to start now.
Okay. So more like start right now, make conscious efforts, and go from there.
Yeah.
Okay. The very last question, I'm going to wrap this up. So how can both genders coexist in the same space? Like you talked about taking away the stereotypes and all of those things. So like right now in the offices, you have like some particular roles that are mostly occupied by guys. Like people see like maybe software developers as more guys.
I was going to say that. I work in the IT industry and I can count the number of women in my office on one palm.
Yeah, but there's like a bunch of guys. I think like engineering also, we kind of have like more
guys as
but
well.
like, so within like those spaces, how do we get the ladies involved and still have like, I guess, peaceful coexistence?
Yeah, I think the first thing is conversations like this.
Okay.
Because we need to awaken that consciousness. So I recruit for IT projects. And when I see a resume that belongs to a lady, I'm always very excited, right? That's because I already have that consciousness. So I can imagine that there's so many other recruiters out there that don't even think about these things at all. You understand? So I think these conversations, taking them to the offices, taking them to our homes, taking them to the churches, basically is the first way forward. People need to start, because sometimes they don't do these things out of wickedness, or they are being unfair, or they just don't like the women. It's just what it is, what the society is. And if we don't pause to reflect, we won't realize that this thing we are doing doesn't really make sense. So that the guys are also aware, the guys, make conscious effort to make sure that, the women they work with, they encourage them to do better at their job, or they encourage them to bring in more women. Another thing I'm going to add to that is, apart from having these conversations, companies also need to make a conscious effort to make sure that they have sufficient female representation on their leadership team, on their board, because the men can make the rules and the policies to take care of what the woman's going through.
So you feel like the men don't understand?
The men can't understand because they're not women, right? So the women have to be on this board, have to be on the leadership team to be able to relate to what their fellow women is going through. So things like saying, okay, we would allow you work from home even after your maternity leave, because that would give you more opportunity to stay closer to the children, take care of the children, and still be able to deliver on your job. If the company is not making a conscious effort to be inclusive, those companies won't be able to make this kind of policies. Yeah. And trust me, the guys can make these policies on behalf of the women.
So you want to like more women who kind of understand, I guess, the pain to being like in those leadership positions where they can make like more changes in terms of maternity leaves, they work from home because you have a child.
Flexible hours.
More like flexibility for like the ladies, right? So
providing childcare, they have to, so that all the money that they're making is not going to childcare.
Just childcare, okay. That's interesting. So like if we have like, I guess, equal representation like in leadership, it's going to kind of translate to having like, I guess, more women taking up some kind of jobs which they don't normally take because of their genders, right?
Yep.
And so it's going to be like creating like a space for them to excel, creating a space for equal representation, and also that's going to kind of help people kind of aspire for like better things.
Exactly. And then another thing it's going to help women aspire for such positions. Like if I work in a company where everyone on my leadership team is a guy, is going to be like it's going to be like a huge feat, or it's going to feel to me like I have to make a conscious effort or extra effort to be able to be on that team as well. Because I don't see anyone that looks like me on that team. But seeing a fellow woman like me, not only is she going to be able to advocate for my own needs, I'll be able to say, oh, if she can do it, then I'll be able to do it. These little things seem a little insignificant, right? But at the end of the day, they affect so many other things, that has to do with the company.
Like, I feel like this is a very, very big conversation, right? You kind of go on and on about this, but like the starting point, like I already said, it's going to be like having this kind of conversations. I'm kind of hoping like at sofa convos when we talk about this kind of things, kind of people get to rethink, okay, this is, they kind of reflect on these things and say, okay, we can do things actually better and make better choices. Like, actually, everyone who comes on sofa convos are like all volunteer, just kind of having conversations to make our society better as minorities. And if you want to jump on this, just let us know. You can follow our page, just write down here on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Twitter also. And just like our page, share this conversation, tag your friends, and then we hope to see you on the next episode.
Yep.
And also follow Kosi on YouTube also. This is Kosi's YouTube page.
Subscribe on my YouTube channel.
Somewhere
you don't
down
follow on YouTube, you subscribe.
Okay, thank you.
So subscribe to my YouTube channel.
And then follow on Instagram. I'm just going to drop like all of Kosi's information just right down here. and she's kind of really amazing. So you're gonna like learn a lot from her channels also. So see you very soon.
Yep. So guys, don't forget that your voice is your power. Basically,
Yeah.
Share your stories, start the conversation from wherever you are, one conversation at a time.
Yep. Okay, thank you so much, and have a good day. We love you so much.
See ya.